Tonight on KGW News, a 100-car pileup. We talked to a driver stuck in the middle of this mess in eastern Oregon.
It was horrific, the damage up there.
Plus, remembered as a peacemaker. Friends tell us about the woman shot and killed at a protest this weekend.
She was just this bright light of a motherly figure.
Then later, restoring the forest. The hard work happening to replant thousands of acres burned in wildfires.
This year, we're going to be planting 1 million trees.
Your news starts now. Good evening on this Monday. We start tonight with friends mourning the loss of a Portland woman shot and killed Saturday night. It happened during a rally for racial justice in Northeast Portland. Catherine Cook spoke with those who knew June Knightley, a person they say lived to stand up for others.
Just the shock of knowing that she was shot and killed was unbelievable to me.
It's the collective response from those who knew and loved 60-year-old June Knightley. Multiple sources tell KGW the Portland woman was shot and killed during a rally for racial justice Saturday night at Normandale Park. Police have not confirmed her identity.
Take some time to mourn the loss of June. Keep her in your heart and in your light, and keep fighting the good fight.
Close friend Nacy Runyon says it's what Knightley would want people to do. The two reconnected in 2020 after the murder of George Floyd. They attended several marches and demonstrations together. Runyon says Knightley, whose nickname was T-Rex, would often provide security during protests or direct traffic to protect demonstrators.
She just had that demeanor about her to keep everyone calm and keep everyone safe. And she was just this bright light of a motherly figure as well. And that's why everybody had just warmed up to her almost immediately because of what she did for everybody else.
Knightley leaves behind a wife, an adult son, and a community that friends say treasured her. That includes Belinda Carroll.
She described herself as a pacifist more than once. So that was kind of where she lived, was de-escalation and making sure that people were talking to each other in a calm way.
Details from Saturday's shooting are still emerging. Police say 5 other people were hurt. They say the scene was so chaotic, they're still gathering evidence to prove, quote, who was a suspect and who was a victim, adding many at the rally refused to talk to them. A woman who was among those injured told the New York Times a man who lived near the park fired at a group that was rerouting traffic ahead of a planned march.
The only thing I knew for sure is that there was 2 separate guns that got shot.
Jeff Pry lives across the street and heard the shooting.
It's a tragedy all the way around, but knowing my son was in the living room and then a bullet could have went through our front window at any time. For what? I'm not really sure.
As the investigation continues, friends and loved ones focus on the person they lost. A small group gathered Monday night at Director Park downtown and marched in honor of June Knightley.
It's a real slap in the face that this happened. And, I think everybody's going to be sad for a long time.
Police so far not confirming any details about the shooter. The Oregonian says the man, who lives next to the park, was injured when an armed demonstrator returned fire. A family member also told the Oregonian the suspect had grown increasingly upset with the protests across the city and in his neighborhood. We'll keep following the story for you and keep you updated. And the shooting at Normandale Park was just one of the shootings officers responded to over the weekend. Another was at Southeast 128th and Foster about 10:30 last night. Officers responded to reports of shots fired at a vehicle. They say a woman was killed. Her 2 kids, ages 1 and 5, were injured by the gunfire. So was a man who was riding in the car as well. According to Portland police, so far this year, 15 people have died in more than 200 shootings across Portland. That's more than the first 2 months of both 2021 and 2020. We spoke to the president of the Portland Police Association about the violence. He says it's taking a toll on the entire community, including officers.
At every single level of the police bureau, we're experiencing exhaustion and frustration. And these people, these officers, these men and women, these people who are human beings still feel this question of, am I working in a community that supports me or wants me here? And that is heartbreaking because these officers, they want to be here.
Sergeant Aaron Schmaus says he talks almost daily with leaders at City Hall. He says everyone agrees gun violence is a problem and they're finding synergy when it comes to solutions, but there's a lot of work still to do. Developing right now, part of Interstate 84 is still shut down in eastern Oregon after nearly 100 vehicles wrecked on the snowy road. ODOT says the westbound lanes will stay closed through midday tomorrow. We got a chance to talk to a driver who was stuck in the mess and a reporter who saw the scope of the crash from the air.
I saw semi-trucks in front of me starting to jackknife and hit each other.
The first vehicles crashed just after noon Monday. Keith Biggs was on his way back to Portland from Idaho, heading west on Interstate 84. He saw the start of the crash about 20 miles east of Pendleton. He got off into the median and thought he'd be safe, but then
I just saw that semi-trucks were still coming and there was no way they were going to be able to stop.
a semi crashed into a car behind him, pushing it into Keith's car, then into another car until the guardrail finally stopped them.
It was quite frightening and I was pinned in, so I was able to move around in the car, but I had to crawl out of this sunroof to get out of the car.
Keith surveyed the wreckage around him.
There was a car underneath an Amazon semi-truck. There was another car where the whole front was torn off, another car where the axle was torn off and the tires were gone, and the engine was probably 10 feet away from where the ar was.
Oregon State Police estimate nearly 100 vehicles were involved.
An extremely long and intense pileup. And I've never seen a crash with my own eyes at this scale.
Antonio Serra is a reporter with the East Oregonian. He went up in a plane to get these photos. He knows this area can often be the scene of crashes in the winter, but nothing like this.
It's pretty windy. The elevation goes up pretty quickly, and there's a lot of snow in that area.
It's not clear yet how many people were hurt. Keith went to the hospital to get checked out and found he had 2 fractured ribs. He's thankful there was no one seriously hurt right around where his car was smashed.
Just the way that there was no deaths, I'm just absolutely shocked at that because it was horrific, the damage up there.
Those who didn't go to the hospital were loaded onto buses to take them to warm up, while crews started the work of clearing the wreckage. ODOT hopes to get the eastbound lanes of I-84 open soon, but again, they expect westbound to be closed through midday tomorrow. You can see why, just a mess there. Now let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. The community of Sherwood is in mourning tonight after police say a driver hit 2 children who were walking just before 7 Sunday evening, killing them. This happened along Southwest Edie Road near Trailblazer Place. The 2 who died were just 16 and 11 years old. There is no indication from police that speed was a factor. Investigators say the driver did cooperate with police. One man is dead after police shot and killed him in Southwest Portland Saturday night. It happened at Broadway View condominiums near Markham Hill. Police say it started with a call about a disturbance and that someone was shooting a gun. A neighbor told us the suspect confronted officers when they arrived and shot at them. They fired back, killing him. The suspect has not been identified, and the officers in the shooting are on leave. And we are in for some cold weather in the metro area tonight, and that has emergency shelters opening. Washington County opens shelters tonight at the Salvation Army building in Hillsborough and the Beaverton Community Center. Multnomah County also has a cold weather advisory tonight and plans to open warming shelters tomorrow. More information is available by calling 211 or visiting 211info.org. Let's check in with meteorologist Joe Ranieri for a first look at our forecast. So, Joe, how cold are we talking about tonight?
Laura, I'm forecasting lows dipping down anywhere in the low to mid 20s, not just overnight tonight, but into early Wednesday morning and into Thursday. Now, this could mark the coldest stretch of weather we've seen so far this winter. Now, you can see the coldest overnight low so far this winter, really this year, was on New Year's Day. We saw a low of 25 degrees. I'm forecasting overnight lows anywhere from maybe in the upper teens to right around 25 degrees the next couple of days. And if that does happen, we could be seeing some new records by the time we start early tomorrow morning. Now, for the most part, the precipitation has really backed off in the last couple of hours. We didn't see a crazy amount of rain earlier today, but again, the big story was throughout the central and eastern side of the state, where you're just talking about all those snow showers throughout the eastern side along I-84. Now you can see in downtown Portland, starting to see some dry weather. There have been some pockets of a mix of rain and snow, but again, no accumulation. Snow level tonight drops down to 500 feet. Here's a look at the eastern side of the state, still along I-84, still going to be dealing with some snow showers the rest of your Monday night. So the coast range, you could be seeing maybe up to an inch possible of snow, but I think for the most part, we're kind of done with any wintry precipitation over the coast range. The Cascades, maybe a few more snow showers here the next couple of hours, but over in eastern Oregon, another 2 to 4 inches possible overnight. And coming up in the detailed forecast, I'll let you know just how long this cold snap stays with us and when we could be seeing some warmer temperatures. That's coming up in about 10 minutes from now.
We'll see in a few minutes. Thank you, Joe.